Hi, welcome to ITV Asia. My name is Claire Chen. I'm CEO of Falling Group Consulting, and I'm your host of Luxury Marketing in China. Today we have an honor to invite our guest, the Managing Director of 3 Under Bun, Mr. Adam Hepburn, to be here to share us his luxury experience in China. Hi, Adam.
Hi, Claire. Nice to be here.
Thank you for coming. But would you like to introduce about yourself to our audience and also what's your China experience?
Sure, of course. I guess I'm on the wrong side of 40. I've been in Asia for about 20 years now.
Wow.
8 of those years in Shanghai, although it really doesn't seem like 8 years. A year is a very short time in Shanghai. And looking forward to hopefully staying here for a long time to come.
Yeah, so we like to talk about your background. So I know you have many years in F&B industry background. Yeah,
I started life as a student engineer and realized that I didn't want to become an engineer. And like most students in the West, you struggle to put yourself through university. So I had been working for hotels, restaurants, etc., making a few dollars to keep me going in university. And I realized that I was more interested in working with people than with working with machines and pipes and all that sort of stuff. So I ended up moving to London and working in the hotel industry. So I was a hotelier from sort of junior waiter to general manager over a period of 20 years. I started in London and moved to Asia, firstly in Hong Kong, and worked with some of the best hotels in the world. I've been very lucky. And worked with some of the best people in the world also. So I guess I've really sort of come through the real sort of traditional hospitality route from the shop floor through all the different departments to ultimately one day being the general manager of a very nice hotel in Asia. And it was a great journey and had this wonderful opportunity to be in an industry where you meet so many interesting people, so many exciting different people, and in such wonderful locations. So I certainly never got bored and really had no plan to leave the hotel business. But here I was in Shanghai about 8 years ago, and completely out of the blue, an opportunity came to work with a very visionary owner who saw the potential in the high-end luxury market in Shanghai and China. And we really had an opportunity to create something which hadn't been done before, to take luxury lifestyle and not only to own it and develop it, but also to operate it. So what we've been doing for the last 4 years is really creating a brand, and under that brand we operate food and beverage, art and culture, spas and wellness, and events. And we're continuing to look at new opportunities to expand that. So in a lot of ways, what I did before in hospitality and hotels, it was about service, and it was about creating a service culture. A lot of that's the same in what we do. Yeah. We just don't sell rooms, we sell a lifestyle experience.
Yeah, you just talk about a lifestyle experience, and what was the initiative? Because I know 3 Under Bun is like the first lifestyle concept to launch in Shanghai. So the lifestyle experience, where you focus on like what Chinese people you think that is going to experience, the lifestyle experience that you want to provide?
Yeah, I mean, I think before we opened, I had 2 major objectives. One, that looking back at the history of the bun, I mean, the bun was built by foreigners for foreigners, and it was very important to us that we were in modern China. This was an experience which was designed for people from China. Yeah. The experience is not particularly Chinese, it's essentially international concepts, but our customers, the majority of our customers, are Chinese. So we wanted to make sure that was very clear from the start. And we also wanted to make sure that this very imposing, beautiful building that we had been given was brought back to life. I mean, in the way that we've all read about the wonderful times in the 20s and 30s when Shanghai was probably one of the greatest cities in the world, and certainly the busiest. We wanted to bring that life and soul back into this wonderful building. So our challenge was to create something that was exclusive, but not be excluding to either local people or visitors or whoever was in town. So we needed to get that balance. And so today, on average, about 65% of our customers are Chinese, 35% are miscellaneous visitors. We have a lot of international people either living in Shanghai or, as you know, visiting. And so we've got, I think, the right balance from a customer mix. And business is good, so I think we've also got past the imposing facade that we have on that building, and we have enough interest on the inside to bring people in and to try perhaps and access something new, something different. And one of the things we always try to be, whatever we do, is to be thought-provoking. It might not be for everyone, but we hope we make you think a little bit.
Yeah. So, Freelaban has been open 4 years ago. I remember that was kind of my first year in China. What are the secrets of the success? Because, well, I'm also one of your member. So, if you kind of tell me something. I mean, just share what is the key factor of success of Freelaban?
Well, what I personally love about this city is although it has a very interesting and exotic and much talked about past, I think most people in Shanghai are not looking in the rear view mirror. Most people are looking forward, they're looking ahead. And I think people here, whether they're from Shanghai or they're living in Shanghai or even visiting, I think we all have a sense that this will be one of the most important cities in the world again. And I think we're all looking forward. So really what 3 on the Bund represents, in a small way, is a slice of the future. And when we started with this idea, the intention was not to adapt concepts for China. The intention was to create something that would be, if you broke it off and dropped it into London or New York or Sydney, it would also be commercially successful. So the quality and the experience there would be appreciated in more developed markets. So we've created something that we feel is about the future. And as you know, I mean, you've lived here now for a few years, people are very curious in Shanghai. So the advantage you have, if you can deliver quality, at least they'll come and look for the first time. And if they like what they see, well then, yes, you have a customer who'll come back and perhaps become one of our members or whatever. And I think that's the opportunity that people have in a city like Shanghai, is there's an open-mindedness to business and to many things. So our position from day one was not to sort of adapt the service experience, the quality, but to make sure that it was clearly marketed and positioned to the local market and hopefully deliver an experience which they like, which I think, the fact that our business is growing year on year says that we're perhaps being reasonably successful there.
Okay. Another question is like, after 3 on the Bund, there are a couple of these, there are many of actually the luxury store and concert, shop or restaurants opened one by one. What's your competitive advantage and to be unique positioning not like others?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question, and it's one that comes up in all sectors. I mean, as you know, things can be copied quite easily in this part of the world, and I think one thing which is impossible to copy are soft skills. You can copy hardware very well, but in terms of people and in terms of the whole culture, the service culture that an organization can create, I think those things are very difficult to copy. So really, I think what separates any market leader from the pack is really the total experience, and a part of that is very much the people and how they interact with customers and the relationships they build up and how customers feel as a result of that experience. And we hope when you leave 3 on the Bund, you leave with a happy memory. And frankly, when I'm inducting new employees, that's one of the metaphors I'll use, that we're in the business of creating happy memories. And that's really what, because people have choice, and you mentioned it rightly, there's a city that's growing as fast as Shanghai, there's many options. So if you don't create a compelling experience that people want to come back, then you ultimately won't succeed in a commercial way.
Very true that people is the most important asset. The last question is be personal, but not a personal. What would be your definition of luxury?
Well, I think luxury changes according to where you are and at what time. I think the market that we're in right now, it's still early days for luxury. And I think the fact that people have a very large amount of disposable income allows them to buy expensive products and pay for expensive experiences. I think still today we're at that early stage in the luxury curve where people are buying brand names, they're buying the security and the safety of those brand names. But I sense now that we're moving a little bit past the beginning. I think we're either at the end of the beginning or the beginning of the end, or whichever. And we're moving into that stage now where people have taste and choice, and they can distinguish between quality that suits them personally. And I think you will see the variety of whether it be retail or food and beverage or different luxury areas, the variety will start to grow as the client base becomes more discerning. And so to me, that we're moving into that phase of luxury right now. But I think on top of all of that, probably the one thing that's more precious than anything else right now in a city like Shanghai is just the time to see and to access this amazing choice that you have. So we're constantly being bombarded with new ideas, new openings, and everything's new in Shanghai. Just having the time to get around them and actually find out which one suits you, that's a luxury to me.
Yeah. All right, great. Thank you for coming to our program and share with your experience as a luxury in China. Thank you for watching ITV Asia. This is Luxury Marketing in China. My name is Claire Chen, and we'll see you next time very soon. Thank you.